How did World War II begin? No one expected a catastrophe this great. Introduction. There are wars that change the course of history. And then, there is one war that opened the darkest chapter in human civilization. The war in which approximately 70 to 85 million people lost their lives, dozens of nations were pushed to the brink of destruction, entire cities were reduced to rubble, and the atomic bomb was used for the very first time. World War II. But the biggest question remains. Did this war really begin in a single day? Or was it the result of a storm that had been silently gathering strength for years? Because Germany's invasion of Poland on the morning of September 1, 1939, was only the first visible step. The real story had begun long before that. And within that story were revenge, economic collapse, political maneuvering, secret agreements, and a series of disastrous decisions that would drag humanity into one of history's greatest tragedies. If you're ready, let's turn the clock back. Chapter 1. 1918. The roar of artillery had finally fallen silent. The First World War had come to an end. Europe lay in ruins, and countless lives had been lost. While the victorious nations celebrated their triumph, Germany had been forced to surrender. Yet the greatest devastation did not occur on the battlefield. It came through the Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919. This treaty stripped Germany of more than just its territory. It stripped away its national pride. Its armed forces were drastically reduced. It was forced to pay enormous war reparations. Its ability to manufacture weapons was heavily restricted. Large portions of its industrial regions were lost. And the German people were given one clear message. You alone are responsible for this war. That decision became the first spark of the Second World War. Because humiliated nations almost always seek revenge. Chapter 2. Collapse. Throughout the 1920s, Germany descended into economic disaster. People carried their wages in wheelbarrows. The money they earned one day wasn't enough to buy even a single loaf of bread the next. Unemployment skyrocketed. Factories shut their doors. The streets filled with desperate people. Then came another devastating blow. In 1929, the Great Depression, which began in the United States, spread across the globe. The world's economy crumbled. People had now lost more than their money. They had lost hope. And history has shown us something time and time again. When people lose hope, they often turn to leaders who appear strong. It was at this very moment that a man emerged who would alter the fate of the world. Chapter 3. The Rise of Hitler. Adolf Hitler. During the First World War, he had been nothing more than an ordinary soldier. But he possessed an extraordinary gift for public speaking. His speeches captivated thousands of people. Again and again, Hitler repeated the same promises. Germany will rise again. We will reclaim everything we have lost. No one will ever humiliate us again. To millions who had lost their jobs, who struggled to feed themselves, who saw no future ahead, these words sounded like hope. In 1933, Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany. Within a remarkably short time, he dismantled democracy, silenced his political opponents, brought the press under his control, and secretly began rebuilding Germany's military. He ignored the Treaty of Versailles completely. But what was truly astonishing was that no one stopped him. Britain and France were so terrified of another war that they chose to overlook every move Hitler made. And that silence only made him bolder. Chapter 4. In Full View of the World. 1936. Hitler sent German troops into the Rhineland. This was a direct violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Yet no country intervened. 1938. Austria was annexed into Germany. Once again, there was no meaningful response. Later that same year, Hitler demanded the Sudetenland, a region of Czechoslovakia. Britain and France sat down at the negotiating table, determined to avoid another war at any cost. They agreed to his demands. Today, this policy is known as appeasement. But in reality, instead of stopping a growing threat, they were feeding it. Hitler now believed only one thing: no one will stand in my way. And with that, he chose his next target: Poland. Chapter 5: The Secret Pact That Shocked the World. There was, however, one enormous obstacle standing in Hitler's way: the Soviet Union. For years, the two nations had been bitter enemies. No one believed they could ever reach an agreement. But in August 1939, the world was stunned. Germany and the Soviet Union signed a secret non-aggression pact. Even more astonishing, the pact contained secret clauses outlining exactly how Poland would be divided between them. Now, nothing stood in Hitler's way. The countdown had begun. In the next chapter, we'll reveal how these events ignited the deadliest war in human history, ***.